let's be real. We have meetings to mainly connect, right? Otherwise, like our favorite saying goes, it could have been an email. But we know that oftentimes our meetings end up just being boring brain dumps. And as leaders, we feel bad that no one is excited about meetings, that they think they're a waste of time. So, how do we make sure in the midst of meetings that, yes, information has to be passed, that we are connecting? And how can you make sure it happens in just the first 10 minutes? Let's get into it today. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Culture Keepers podcast. It's me, Kara List, your leadership coach. So glad you're here today. We're going to discuss another topic to empower you as a leader to cultivate a thriving workplace culture, specifically through connection. And I'm going to be going through a bunch of things today, but if you are driving, if you are multitasking, good news for you. You do not need to write any of this down because I already did that for you. So you can go to the show notes and grab the link or go to www.heycarolist.com/kickoff and you're going to get the guide that outlines everything we're going to talk about today. So you could listen and think about it and enjoy it, and then go back and grab that PDF and use it this week in your meeting. We all crave connection. It's something that is in us. We all desire to connect with each other and to connect to meaning in our lives. We want our work to be meaningful and we want to be connected to a good cause. This is something that we crave. And you may be a leader of a workplace and you might think, well, that's not really happening. Like we're not really giving off very connected vibes. But I want to encourage you, if your people are showing up, then there is some sort of connection there. And you can build on that and you can do it just in the first 10 minutes of your meeting. And that's what we're going to talk about. Your opportunity, your brief, quick opportunity to spark and create meaningful connection that will not only make your meetings better, but will massively impact your workplace culture, even maybe right away. So we're going to get into those things today. What are the things in those first 10 minutes that you need to do? Well, I love an acronym, so I came up with one. You're going to start with a bang. Yes, a bang. B-A-N-G. So we're going to get right into it. The B stands for bravos. You're going to start with the bravos. So this is your moment to celebrate the wins. And it could be collective wins. It could be individual wins. But here's the cool thing. It doesn't even have to be wins. It can be efforts. And I want to clarify, we're talking about the wins, the efforts, the triumphs of the last week since you met as a staff, which might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, but whatever that time gap is, just that amount of time. You're thinking back as a leader, what were the ways in which our team or individuals found success? And let's celebrate it. What this immediately does is it helps your people to feel seen, to feel valued, and to feel appreciated. And everyone wants to be appreciated. We might not like to admit it, but there was a study recently done that tells us that employees who receive regular recognition are 5 times more likely to say that they feel valued at work. They're 6 times more likely to be engaged in their work, and they're 7 times more likely to stay with that employer for at least another year. We like to be thanked. We like to be appreciated, and this is your opportunity to do it. So it might be hard for you to think of those wins, but I want to remind you that nothing happened at work this last week on accident. So think about the things that happened. And again, they don't have to be huge. They can be small, but things happened because people did things. So that's the first step, is just pause and say, what happened that was good, right? What happened that kept us from failing this week? Who was involved in those wins? Who contributed to those? So that's just kind of how you can get your mind wrapped around, how do I even begin these bravos if nothing like fantastical happened this last week? And then you say things like this: without you, we couldn't have. Or you ask your team, who can share with us a way that someone on the team brought value to your work this week? Just open it up. See if anyone has anything to say. We appreciate all you've done. Or we see the effort that the team put into this thing. When you did this, it allowed us to do that. These are some statements that you can use to show appreciation. And this connects your team in two ways. It connects to their own contribution, right? You've acknowledged their contribution and they feel seen and they believe that what they do is valued by you and the organization. And it connects them to their community, feeling like my team rallies behind me, my team celebrates me, my team sees what I do. So that Bravo section works in connecting the individual to their contribution and connecting the community. The A in BANG stands for alignments. So this is the time in the meeting where you take a moment to connect for your team how what they are doing individually and what they are doing corporately, collectively, is in fact achieving the mission, is in fact in line with our vision, and is demonstrating our values. So our expected behaviors, the behaviors that we value. So this is how you keep the mission and the vision and the values alive. This is how you keep those statements from being old, dusty, irrelevant things that exist on a wall somewhere or in a filing cabinet. If we don't have a true north, if we can't see how we're getting from point A to point B, and we don't know how we're expected to behave on the way, it is going to be chaos. It is going to be confusing, and we are going to have conflicts and lots of it. So if you want to avoid the chaos, the confusion, the conflicts, the best thing you can do is to re-inspire and re-infuse everybody with this is what we're doing and why, and you connect the work they're already doing to it. Because come on, it would be super boring if every week you're like, and now we're going to do our formal reading of the mission and the vision and the values. Sure, every once in a while, if you want to say what it is, but make it living, make it breathing, show people how they're already doing it. Do the work to connect them. And here's a couple things you can say in order to do that. When you did this thing, it perfectly demonstrated these values that happen to be your company values. Here is an email I got from a happy customer this week. By sharing that email, you're sharing impact. What they did helped us accomplish the mission. You could say it as simply as, I saw the mission played out this week when we did this thing. Your commitment continues to enable us to, and you list the things of your mission. You list your vision. You say it again, right? You connect it. And the last one gives them an opportunity to answer. You could say, when considering how we are serving our customers, what's going well? So you're taking that what went well question and you're giving it to them, and they're able, from their own experiences, their own interactions, their vantage point, to describe to the team how you're accomplishing the mission, how you're making an impact. And this is so important. Simon Sinek says this quote, if we want to feel an undying passion for our work, if we want to feel we are contributing to something bigger than ourselves, we all need to know our why. And in the hustle of work, in the stress of work, it's easy to forget. So you have to realign. And what this accomplishes is the connection to their contribution again. Not only what I do here is valued and seen, but what I do here matters to a greater cause, like to our mission. And of course, the connection to the cause. What we do here day in and day out makes a difference. It matters. And that is motivating. And you can do that in one sentence every single week. Okay, so we've gotten to the B and to the A, and now we're to the N. And the N is numbers. Now, at this point, you can invite people to open up their laptops. Yes, you heard me. For the B and the A portion, the Bravos and the alignments, it is a closed laptop policy. You're just face-to-face, connecting with each other, doing everything you can to eliminate those distractions, to be fully present in that moment. Well, now it's time for the numbers. Boring. Just kidding. No, it's really important. So the numbers, this is when we've got some wind in our sails, right? We're feeling a little good, and we're going to actually look at some data. This might be a quick financial overview, some sales figures, some enrollment statistics, any of the metrics that you use to track success, to track your outcomes on a week-to-week basis. So this is not a moment to troubleshoot those problems. So let's say that, your numbers are down in the last week. This isn't an open forum to say, how could we fix it? How could we do better? It's really just to call those things out. And then you can appoint another time with a specific group of people to troubleshoot or problem solve. So just know this is not that conversation. This is just a quick overview. You're hitting the highlights, hitting the main points of the numbers from this last week. So how you could do this is by saying, we're on track this last week. What went well? Our favorite question, what went well? And get everyone to talk about what went well to contribute to the numbers being on track. You don't have to have that answer. That's the beauty of a lot of this. You open it up and you let them say it for themselves. And there may have been some challenges along the way. So you can even acknowledge that. You can say, in spite of this challenge and call it out, we continue to stay on track. And that's amazing. Look at how many people we are able to continue to serve. Like, look at the numbers. And then let's just say the numbers are down because that happens. You can call it out. The numbers are down right now. So let's think about what has gone well in the recent past that might help us, figure out what we can do moving forward. Like, what can we learn about what has gone well recently and apply that to this next week. And you can have a brief conversation about it. Again, it's not a troubleshooting, it's just what has gone well in the past. And why this is important is because it helps people see where we're at. If we have a goal, if we have a place that our leadership is expecting us to be, then we have to know where we're tracking along the way. And the people who are running the numbers, the finance team, they know that, but chances are nobody else does. So it is important for everybody to have that information. It connects people to their contribution. They can say, okay, I see the big picture and I can see where my part contributes in our progress. And then again, it's connecting to the cause. The progress we make with the data, with the numbers, is what keeps our doors open, is what helps us serve other people with whatever it is we serve them with. Okay, so the last one, the G, can you guess what it is? What is it? It's glue. Yes, glue. The G is glue. So to bring it home, we offer an opportunity for us to connect personally to each other. This is a chance to share updates. This is my kid got into this college. Here is a health update from my mom from when I talked a couple months about what was going on with her. Or I recently got a certification and everyone can celebrate. Or maybe there is a need that one of the team members expresses that everybody is able to help with, or the team just knows so they can show empathy and be encouraging and supportive to that person. So this is not a kumbaya moment. This is not like okay, we're all gonna share what's going on in our lives. This is just an opportunity to share what people want to share in order for them to be personally connected to each other and to give the opportunity for the team to show support and celebration in the process. And I'd recommend as a leader that, especially if you're starting this for the first time, you do it first. You model it by saying, I'd like to share something with the team, that's going on with me, or that, something that's exciting me right now. And then I'm going to allow you guys to share if you have anything you want to update the team with. And it might feel awkward at first, especially if you've never done anything like this. So that's okay. Just be patient and keep pursuing it. Another way you might ask the question is, before we jump into the next section of our meeting, let's open up the floor. Does anybody have any wins they want to share? Any personal wins, right? So you could just start with something kind of easily accessible. And then you can call out something if you know of something, right? Something that might be common, maybe not something that's personal, because that is the right of the person only to share. But if it's a team win, right, then that might be a good entry point as you kind of ease into this part of the meeting. And then once you've gotten used to it, you can say, okay, before we dive into the rest of the agenda, opening up the floor for personal highlights. And you could just call it personal highlights. But it is essentially the glue. It is how we feel connected to our community at work. It allows us to empathize with what our team is going through, and it helps us to care about people. We cannot care about people if we don't know them. And again, don't get all upset. This doesn't have to be a sharing your whole life story. I know a lot of people are like, I don't come to work to share my life story. You don't have to share your life story, but life will be more pleasant if you can share your joys with your coworkers and can celebrate the wins together. And if you get to a point where you have trust equity over time with these people, then you can cautiously be personally vulnerable with each other. But that happens over time. And you build trust equity slowly by doing this little glue exercise for the last minute of your meeting kickoff. Okay, so how do we use the first 10 minutes to connect us to our cause, our community, and our contribution? You start with a bang. Bravos, alignments, numbers, glue. Okay, that's how you're going to do it. Now, I have a bonus tip. Okay, and the bonus tip is awesome. And this is how you take all of that information, right, that you do at the beginning 10 minutes of every meeting, and you collect it over time to produce data points. Now, you're probably like, what do you mean? So I just want to say connection is not just a feeling, right? It's actually something that helps us reach outcomes, right? When I feel connected to my cause, I am motivated to do my work really well because I believe it matters. And when I'm connected to the people around me, I can collaborate without fear of competition or conflict. And together, we can achieve this outcome that I want to work really hard at because I want to be proud of my work. I want to feel my work is excellent. I want to be connected to my contribution. Do you see what I just did there? I went all three connection points: cause, community, and contribution. And then what happens? Mission accomplished happens. You get things done as a team. Your numbers continue to rise, right? You have great quarters, great years. You have happy customers. This is how it happens. So in order to know what you're doing well and to be able to replicate that kind of connection in the future, you need to be able to track it. You need to turn it into helpful, tangible data for you to use. So I have a way for you to do that, and you can find it in the free guide that I have for you. I'm not going to take the time to go through that process here, but it is written for you in the free guide, the Ultimate Meeting Kickoff Guide. So you can go to heycarolist.com/kickoff or go to the link in the show notes, and you can grab it there to take all of that and turn it into data that you can use for your team to help connection reach outcomes like magic. Okay, friends, most people don't like meetings, but you can make a difference and an impact by starting them strong with connection, your opportunity to spark and cultivate it. Do not miss out on this opportunity. I promise you, you will not regret it. And I would love it if you would share this episode with just one leader friend. Think about a friend of yours who's leading another organization who could really benefit from these ideas. It's hard to come up with these ideas when you're bogged down with the work. I've been there, I know. So go ahead and do your friend a favor and send this episode to them. I know it would be encouragement to them. I hope it was an encouragement to you. And friend, continue to build connection and your workplace cultures will thrive. You're doing it. I'll talk to you soon.